In this tutorial in CyberLink PowerDirector, I'd like to show you how to use multiple custom selection masks. We're going to show you a bit of an example, and then we'll show you something about this technique. I have on track number 9 an image. It's a still image, a graphic of a downtown metro area. Now what I'd like to do is make it look like we're projecting different movies on different flat surfaces in the image. How could you do that? Well, with the image selected, I'm going to click on the Tools and choose my Mask Designer. Now where the mask goes is important. The way I remember is if I want to punch a hole in something, that's the track on which I apply the mask. So I'll click on that, and that will get me into my Mask Designer. Now I have here several different kinds of masks that I can use. I have a pre-selected group of them up here that I can take and modify. Then I have 4 different buttons that will create other masks. Unfortunately, you can't add one kind to another. For example, I couldn't say let's make a heart mask and then add the text mask and then add a custom paint mask and then the other one as well. Each one will only do its own kind of mask in an individual kind of approach. So what we're going to use is only the one we find here under Create a Custom Selection Mask. So let's use that tool by clicking on the button, and immediately I will see it says Mask 1, and it starts out with the default color, which happens to be red. Now that's just for reference. It has nothing to do with how your video looks when you're done producing it. So Mask 1 is red, and I see I have a darker area here. I'm going to enlarge it slightly. And I'm going to first of all click with the left mouse button, and that will start an area where I can create my mask. And we're going to go down here around the bushes, and we'll make it look like this is a place where my first video is going to play on the surface of the building. Now what I'd like to do is invert that. So I go over to the left side and click on the Invert Mask button. So now only that is my mask selection. And if I want to change it a little bit, I can move the hand over any of the selection buttons and drag and adjust it slightly that way. So you can make some modifications. If you happen to click anywhere on a line, you can create another point. And then you can also take that one and adjust it if you want to. I'll do Control Z to undo that. I don't want that. So there's mask number 1. Let's pick another surface and do mask number 2. I just click on Add in the lower left corner. Now this will be my green mask, and I do the same thing. Click on the corners in this case. And when I'm satisfied that that's good enough, I'll click on Invert. There's my second screen that we'll project on. I'll click on Add again, and we'll click on this area here on this tall building and create my third projection screen. That's a little crooked, so we'll just straighten that out just a little bit. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a way you can go totally horizontal or vertical. Now, if you don't like a mask, I'll invert that one as well. If you don't like a mask, you simply highlight it. You can click the down arrow here. You can select up to 5 of them, and then you hit the trash can. It will make it go away. So now I've created a brand new mask that I can use in this particular video. Now you notice I have my advanced area open where I have my keyframes. That's because wherever your cursor happens to be when you create a mask, that's when it will start to appear on the screen. I'm going to take all of these and drag them back to the beginning. So at the very beginning, we're going to see all of the masks operative. We'll show you in a bit how you can tweak that in a very interesting way. So I'm going to click on the OK button at the bottom. And now I have these 3 rectangular holes punched into my graphic. So I want to put some action behind each of them. So what I'm going to do is go to a higher number track. Let's take the picture of this plane, this video. I'll put it on any higher track. And in this case, now it covers everything, so you see parts of it through these 3 holes. So what I want to do is double click on it, get into the Pip Designer, and I'm going to take this and we'll make it smaller so it only covers one of my mask areas. So we'll shrink it down. And in this case, I'm going to enlarge the video so I can see behind it. Let's put this one in here. And we'll try to get as much of it as we can. Now, a way to tweak it, you can click on Object Settings on the left and temporarily dial the opacity down so you can see a little bit the exact area you're working with to make it as tight as possible. I don't want any of the black showing, but I really don't want it too big. I'll lose some of my picture. That's good enough for now. I have to remember to turn my opacity back up to 100%. And so now that will play only in that area. So let's go up. I've got plenty of tracks to work with. We'll just take this one and drag it on track 5. And now I'll double click on it again. We're going to resize this in the Pip editor. We'll do what we did a moment ago, and we'll click on it and we'll make it smaller. And let's have this one play over here. Again, I'm going to change the opacity temporarily so I can position it better. And if I want it real precise, I can zoom in to give me a little better look at exactly the area we want to cover. Okay, and make sure my opacity is back to 100%. And I'll do the third one as I pause the video. Now if we play what we've done, you're going to see a different movie playing on each of these 3 flat surfaces in our building, in our downtown area. So it's a rather interesting way to apply that. Now let me show you something else you can do with the timing of it. If I go back to my main document that I have applied the masking to, I'll click on it and we'll go Tools, Mask Designer again. I can go back into any of the masks and edit them if I want to, but what I'd like to do is change the timing. Let's see, mask number 1 is my red mask. That's the one here. Let's start with the green one. If I click down on colors, mask 2 is the green one. That will be first, and the red will be last. So mask number 1 is red. So let's drag the keyframe back over here. And we'll take mask 3 and we'll drag it over here. So I'll click on OK. And so now I've changed the timing of when the masks are operative. And it will start playing, and then we'll have the video pop up in the center. And then we'll have the video on the other flat surface of this building last. Now this is a rather unique and perhaps oddball way to show you what it can do, but it's an interesting way in which you can apply multiple custom selection masks to the same video and use it in creative ways of your own.